Good afternoon and welcome to the IHSA Spring Spectacular, the second weekend of the Spectacular. Last weekend it was the girls. This weekend it's the boys track and field championship from O'Brien Stadium here in Charleston on the campus of Eastern Illinois. There you get a look at the panoramic view of the track, and the weather will be a factor here today. They're calling for some rain, temperatures in the mid-60s. Good for the distance runners, maybe not so good for the sprinters. Hello again, everybody. I'm Casey Kaler, along with Lee Halberg from Glenbard South. Lee's the athletic director and also assistant track coach there. And Lee, an interesting day weather-wise for this state track and field meet.
Well, sometimes from the press box, Casey, you have no idea how much of a factor the wind can be, but as we stand down here, that flag is at a near gale force extension, and I think it will be a factor in many of the events today.
No question about it, and both defending team champions from last year have a chance to repeat. When we take a look at the title contenders in the Class A side, last year, of course, St. Joseph Ogden won the championship. You get a look at the teams with the events there. Harrisburg, Leo, who lost the championship last year by just a point. Sparta, Burlington Central, four teams there all in the hunt for the Class A title.
Yes, Harrisburg was fifth a year ago, and Harrisburg and Leo are going to match up in several events today. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think St. Joe Ogden, with their qualifiers, they've got some top qualifiers in some other events that Leo and Harrisburg aren't represented in. I think it's probably those three schools from which the championship is going to be decided today.
Plenty of outstanding talent on display on the track and in the field events. Here you get a look at the Class A top athletes. Ryan Shields, what can you say about him? The defending champion, the 100, 200, and 400. He's back. Josh Wakey, the defending pole vault champion, also qualified in the 110 highs and the 300 intermediates. And Brad Bashir from Harrisburg, outstanding performer for them in the sprints.
Well, as you mentioned, Shields and Brashear, they will run against each other in three events, the 100, 200, and the 4x1 relay. So it's going to be a fun afternoon to see just how who wins those battles.
And Brashear actually qualified ahead of Shields in the 100, so that should be quite a race. When you look at the Class AA, the team title contenders there, York, which won their first track and field championship last year after so many cross-country titles, they've got a chance at repeating. You can see they've qualified in 8 final events. Thornwood and MacArthur just behind them, and then Harvey with 6, but 4 teams there with a legitimate chance at a championship as well today.
Well, I agree. If you look at this, and we've tried to study it, I think York and Thornwood have the best chances, but I was really impressed with the Cater MacArthur's qualifiers for the finals today.
And taking a look at the top performers in Class AA, again, a field loaded with talent. You get a look at the distance runner, Tim Hobbs. He's a threat to win not only the 800, which he won last year, but also will be one of the top competitors in the 1600 meters as well. Ron Mitchell, the outstanding sprinter from South Holland Thornwood, and then Sean Dickerson from Southeast Springfield, the guy you told me yesterday, look out for this kid.
He's just an outstanding young man, and I think the question I would have if I were the Thornwood coach is whether or not some of the other sprint talent in this field is going to take points away from us today. And I guess on the York side, just where they're going to put some of their people in those relays. We have seen some outstanding individuals. I know Tim Hobbs, our defending champion in the 800, and he will run the 1600. You've got Terry Mastrino, who will be probably running that 4x4 relay. I think the 2 relays will be key for York in their title chances.
All right, Coach. Well, we've talked a lot about the competitors on the track. Field events, a big part of this Spring Spectacular here, the IHSA Spring Spectacular, and with a report on the field events today, we go to our reporter, Lee Hall. Lee?
All right, Casey and Coach, thank you very much. Things are starting to dry out a little bit over here as we get ready for today's field events. Of course, the weather's been psychotic here in central Illinois all the last week, and amidst the showers yesterday, though, some guys stood head and shoulders above the rest as we take a look at the Class A top competitors on the field events for Friday. Braden Jones in the long jump from Harrisburg is 4 inches better than the closest competitor. And Red Hillard in the shot put from Leroy, the only guy to go over 55 feet on Friday. He is the leader there. And in the discus out of Bureau Valley, it's Michael Behrens. He is 3 feet 2 inches better than the nearest competitor. And as we saw last week in the girls competition, those qualifying distances on Friday can hold up. As we take a look at the AA, the defending champs performing well. Mark Zilch in the pole vault out of Lake Park. He is tied for first. In the high jump, Chris Starron out of Glenbard East. He is tied for first with a qualifying jump of 6'4". Tylean Smith out of Decatur MacArthur in the triple jump Those guys all champs a year ago and looking for the gold again here today. Another guy to keep an eye on out of Quincy is Tony Douglas, who is the leader in AA long jump and high jump. And he's also competing in the triple jump, but he's going to have a tough time catching Tillian Smith. Let's go back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Lee. Well, we're looking forward to a great afternoon of track and field here, Coach. Should be a lot of fun. And in the general consensus, I guess, in the Class AA side for the team title, you've got the distance runners for York, sprinters for Thornwood, but perhaps a spoiler like Sean Dickerson in Southeast Springfield might sneak in there and upset that thing.
Well, it's an outstanding field of sprinters. You know, Illinois produces every year, and I would be worried, as I mentioned earlier, as to what kind of effect that might have on our performances if I'm the Thornwood coach. They may take some points away. Sean Dickerson's clearly one of those individuals that could do that today.
All right, we're looking forward to an exciting day of IHSA Spring Spectacular boys style, the boys track and field meet coming up. We'll be back after these local messages on the IHSA TV network. Welcome back here to O'Brien Stadium. I'm Casey Kaler along with Coach Lee Halberg, and we are set for the first race of the day, the Class A 4x800 meter relay. And taking a look at how the teams qualified yesterday, the Teutopolis wooden shoes with the best time of the day, Lee, yesterday 8:06.55, and you get a look at the rest of the field, and they are off. Teutopolis on the inside ran an 8:06.55 yesterday. Their lead runner is Aaron Niebrug, senior. Starting in the lead spot in the second alley, Robinson, they qualified at 8:07.40. The lead spot in the third alley, the Gragos from Chillicothe, 8:09.13. And in the lead spot on the outside off the start, the Carterville Lions at 8:09.46. And as they make the turn down the home stretch here, lap number 1, you see IVC, Chillicothe, Gragos, their lead runner, out in front, riding stride for stride.
Casey, the leaders came through at about 56 seconds flat, which is what I would have expected. I think you want to get out and have a chance to run in that front group. You're going to want to have a lead off at 1:57, 1:57.5, or very close to that. That's what we saw yesterday.
You get a look at the state record in this event. That more than likely will not be challenged. Class A, Princeton in 81, turned to 7:54.2, outstanding time, and the lead time coming in, as we said, Teutopolis at 8:06.55. So that record more than likely not in jeopardy today here. What's turned out to be a pretty decent day. We didn't know weather-wise what to expect, but a pretty decent day, but a strong wind blowing from the southwest. And as they come around the near turn, you see IVC out in front. The Gragos from Illinois Valley Central High School in Chillicothe as they complete the first exchange in about 1:56.7.
It looks like a carbon copy from yesterday. Zach Glavish from IVC took things out well yesterday in Heat 1 and got IVC out to an early lead yesterday. So they've done it again.
Coming around the turn, as they make the turn to come home for the final leg. For Teutopolis, making a charge is Jake Meyer as they turn coming down the near straightaway. Meyer with an excellent kick here, overtaking Robinson's Helton, and Teutopolis will have the lead on the last leg of the 4x800 meter relay. Teutopolis' Jeff Fearday now your anchor man. An excellent run by Jake Meyer as he was able to chase down Robinson's Josh Helton. So Meyer looking to extend the lead for Teutopolis. Again, the wooden shoes coming in with the best time in yesterday's preliminary, 8:06.55. Right now the running time is 6:28 as they complete the first 200 meters of this last 800 meter leg of the 4x800.
Well, Fearday anchored yesterday for T-Town in their win yesterday. And it looks like it's developed into a three-team race at this point with about 500 meters to go. Ordaz from IVC has closed down on both these two leaders. And it looks like Carterville moving up a little bit closer in fourth. But one lap to go. It's T-Town still.
Yeah, it's a three-team race at the bell lap. Again, with the lead, Fearday from Teutopolis. Close behind is Robinson's Tyson Schnickner. And IVC was making a move there. That's Michael Ordaz in third place with the baton for IVC. The last lap of the first race of the day here from Eastern Illinois University, the site of the IHSA Spring Spectacular Boys State Track and Field Meet. We'll be covering the field events as well throughout the day. Lee Hall joining us throughout the day with reports here as they make the turn on the final lap coming down the stretch here for the championship Class A 4x800 meter relay. Teutopolis on the outside. That's Fearday trying to fight off Robinson's Tyson Schnickner. They are neck and neck, and now it's Schnickner with a charge at the tape, and it will go to IVC, the Gray Ghost, with the first state title of this boys spring spectacular weekend. Oh, what a gutsy run by Tyson Schnickner and the rest of that Robinson team. And here you see coming down the stretch the duel.
Well, Schnickner is just doing a real fine job, spending everything he's got. He judges the finish line just a little bit better than Fearday. Fearday made a move a little bit earlier in that final lap and probably thought he could put it away, but Schnickner held on at the finish. A great race for both kids, both teams.
Coming up for the Class AA boys 4x800 meter relay. This should be an excellent race. 4 teams qualifying yesterday within about 3/4 of a second of each other. The Edwardsville Tigers, they'll have the lead spot in alley number 1. They had the fastest qualifying time at 7:50.14. The lead team in alley number 2, Downers Grove North, the Trojans, came in at 7:50.38. The lead team in alley number 3, the defending state champion Dukes from York High School in Elmhurst, was 7:50.61. And on the outside, the lead in alley number 4, Oak Park River Forest, at 7:50.88. Let's take a look at the record again for this event. For Class AA, 7:38 set by Thornton back in 1976. And unless one of these teams really breaks free today, that record's probably intact as well. Pulling out the stops, York, they've got Staslios is going to run this 4x800. He did not run in the qualifying heat yesterday for York. He'll have the second leg today, and they are off. And again, on the inside position in alley number 1 is Edwardsville. The Tigers with the baton for the Tigers is Timon Keller. He is a junior. And as they make the break down the farthest stretch and where the runners begin to come in, again, it is Edwardsville, the Tigers in the lead position. Again, it was Edwardsville, Downers Grove North running with the blue top, and Elmhurst York along with Oak Park River Forest, the 4 favorites heading in to this race. Again, if you're just tuning in, the Class A 4x800 meter race. Congratulations to Robinson. Tyson Schnicker, the anchorman sophomore, leading Robinson to the victory in the Class A 4x800 meter relay. Coach, would you have him for a split on that first lap opening leg?
About 54-55, which is par for the course in the Class AA 4x800 meter relay leadoff legs. It looks like Edwardsville right there in second. York on the inside as well, trying to determine who the leader is at this point. Looks like Buffalo Grove, but obviously they're so bunched up. There's not going to be any separation yet, but we'll see as they come down for this first exchange.
York taking the lead now and running the lead leg for York, Dan Zabisky. And also running strong for Pekin on this lead leg, Josh Strange, right behind York's Zabisky. And they make the exchange in under 2 minutes, at about 1:58, running now for York in this second leg.
That's Evanston and Downers North challenging at 2 and 3.
Downers North and Evanston coming up, as you said. Downers North making the exchange now in second. Now let's go down on the field. Lee Hall standing by with a live report. Lee?
All right, Casey, thanks a lot. We still have several jumpers left in the triple jump. Tillian Smith, the defending state champ from Decatur MacArthur, so far is the only guy to go over 50 feet, 2.5 inches. And this was his most recent attempt here. He is the leader with still a couple of attempts left down here in the triple jump. Back upstairs to you.
Those 3 teams clearly out front now as they get set to make the final exchange in this 4x800 meter. For York, it'll be Todd Jones running the anchor. For Downers Grove North, this kid's been tough all year for them in this event, Mark Eckerly. And it's going to be a battle between Eckerly and Jones, more than likely, for this Class AA 4x800 meter gold medal. As you see, Downers Grove North breaking slightly in front on this final leg.
Jones anchored yesterday for York. Toussaint anchored for Evanston. And as you can see, Evanston closing down that distance.
And Eckerly with the baton right now for the Trojans from Downers Grove North. Their best time coming in before this state meet was 7:52. They ran a 7:50 yesterday. A running clock right now at 6:37 as they make the turn, coming down the stadium side straightaway here at O'Brien Stadium on the campus of Eastern Illinois. The bell lap coming up. York on the hip pocket of Downers Grove North for the 4x800 meter relay championship. Again, it's Mark Eckerly. Wild Kids from Evanston running third, a distant third. With the baton is Jason Toussaint. He's a junior, but those 3 teams clearly the class of this 4x800 meter field, at least on this day.
You know, they've separated themselves. Obviously, I tell you, this is a tough one to call. It's going to come down to the wire, perhaps.
It's going to be exciting.
Jones looks so smooth, so in control.
Yeah, he really does.
And I think he's probably taking a little pressure off himself by letting the young man from Downers North take the lead. But here you see a challenge, perhaps. I think I would wait. We'll see what he does. I would wait till they come off the turn to try to go after the lead.
This is Eckersley with the lead. Mark Eckerly from Downers Grove North.
Oh my goodness.
Dropping the baton was York. That was Todd Jones. Baton just came out of his hand. He had to return to go get it. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Mark Eckerly will win this. Walking to the tape, he could, but he's bringing it home strong for the Trojans from Downers Grove North. Evanston will finish second. Jason Toussaint, and a disappointing third for Todd Jones and York High School. Nobody must feel worse about that whole scenario than Todd Jones. He was running so strong coming around the curve and somehow lost the baton. So it's 1, 2, 3. Downers Grove North first, Evanston second, and York finished third. I'm going to take a look at the finish of this race. We'll see the baton. Let's see what happens here, Lee.
You know, there's not anyone near him. He just loses the handle, so to speak. I think maybe, you know, in his defense, he was probably thinking about making that last charge at the finish, and just maybe lost his concentration.
Can you imagine? You could just see the look on the poor kid's face, Todd Jones, utter disbelief that it could have happened, and he had to retreat. Fortunately for York, they had such a lead over the rest of the pack that he was able to go back and get it and still finish third. But a disappointing third. He was all set. I'm sure in his mind he was just thinking about, okay, here's where I'm going to start my kick when we come off this curve. And there's the thrill of victory for Downers Grove North. Mark Eckerly takes it to the tape. They are the Class AA 4x800 meter champion. Our next race today, the 4x100 meter Class A relay. This should be an interesting event. The team with the best time, you see Kankakee McNamara in 1, Amboy 2, Burlington Central in 3, St. Joseph Ogden in 4. St. Joseph Ogden, the Spartans, the defending team Class A champion, but Chicago Leo in 5 turned in the fastest time, anchored by Ryan Shields, the outstanding sprinter. They ran a 42.75 yesterday. Harrisburg will give them a fight today. The Bulldogs in lane number 6, and there is your record for the 4x100 meter relay that could be challenged today. That 42.5 set by Luther South in 91. And they are off. Again, it's Jason Hall with the lead leg for Leo, Perkins for Harrisburg, and Schutz for St. Joseph Ogden. And as they make the first exchange, we've got a problem in the exchange inside. Falling down now, finally
St. Joe Ogden
handling the baton. Yeah,
is out of it.
Spartans are out.
It's Harrisburg through that second exchange. Leo, the number 2 spot on the inside, however.
And as they come for the final exchange, coming down the near stretch, leading on the outside, this is Harrisburg. Nick George with the anchor after Brad Bashir ran a great third leg. It's going to be Harrisburg. Leo coming on strong, Shields at the end, but he didn't have enough room to track down Nick George, who ran an excellent anchor leg. Harrisburg is your champion in the 4x100. Leo runs second. That should be great news for Harrisburg in their quest for a championship. They were one of the teams we spotlighted at the start of this telecast that have an excellent chance of winning the state title, and they get it started on the right foot here. Well,
I'll tell you, there's no margin for error if you go event by event. And, of course, in these first 2 relays we've seen in AA and now here in single A, miscues. But that exchange with Harrisburg wasn't textbook pretty, but they had enough of a lead to hold off Ryan Shields, who, as you can see, is closing down the distance here. And if there had been another 10 meters, who knows? But Harrisburg hangs on to win this 4x100 meter relay. And it's interesting the strategy that Harrisburg uses, running Brashear in that third leg to give the cushion for the anchor runner. And coming up next, now we've got the Class AA 4x100 meter relay, and we'll set your lane assignments there for you. The Huskies from Harlem in lane number 1, Raiders from Bolingbrook, Wildcats from Plainfield, and the Spartans from Southeast Springfield in lane 4. Fastest qualifying time. They set a record yesterday for this event, 41:45. The Thunderbirds from Thornwood, Bloom in 6, Thornton in 7, Mundelein in 8, and East St. Louis, the Flyers, in lane number 9. Taking a look at the record for this event. And AA set yesterday. Outstanding run by Leslie Ballantyne Horton and anchored by Ron Mitchell. New record 41:45. They were smoking. A little better weather today, maybe another new record. Spartans from Springfield Southeast and the Trojans from Bloom High School. Spartans in lane 4, Trojans in lane 6. And they are off. This is Leslie running the lead leg for Bloom on the outside, Moore running the lead leg, and Willie Logan for Southeast as they make the break on the first exchange. Thornwood's got the lead. Excellent exchange. Running the second leg now is Chris Horton. Horton coming up, eliminating the stagger on Bloom to the outside, makes the exchange, and it's another good one. Running the third leg, Dion Ballantyne. So Thornton is running well on the outside, wide over purple. They are even as they head to the final exchange.
This is Jason Hearn from Thornton making the exchange, running the anchor leg now. is Ron Mitchell.
They're not even at this point.
Big lead coming down the stretch. Will it be a new record? Mitchell closing in on the tape. And the unofficial time on the scoreboard shows 41.5, which will be slightly off of their state championship record time of yesterday, but they win the gold medal as they win the Class AA 4x 100-meter relay. Here we get a look at Mitchell coming in towards the tape.
Their exchanges were all safe, very sound, very good. They just did their running in between, and of course with somebody of Ron Mitchell's caliber to bring it home, they're just outstanding performance again for second day in a row for Thornwood.
All right, coming up next now, the class. Welcome back. Welcome back here to O'Brien Stadium in Charleston on the campus of Eastern Illinois University, the IHSA Spring Spectacular. And we are set now for the Class A 3,200-meter run. There you get a look at the alleys. First alley, Hurd had the best time coming in, 9:35.8. And taking a look at alley number 2, John Houseworth inside with a 9:38.2 coming in. Alley number 3 looks like this. Believe it or not, you heard the gun go off, a full start in the 2-mile run. Alley number 3 and then alley number 4, you see Mike Kelly on the inside position ran a 9:45 for Winnebago. Amazingly enough, Coach, a full start in the 2-mile run. How does that happen?
Well, you know what, it probably should. It's very unfortunate. We've had a couple of things happen already that you just would never believe you'd see.
So that young man that you saw there make the full step will not be running. Now said he's coming back. They say that he will be able to run. You see the kid come out, the other competitors high-fiving him. With the 3rd position on the inside alley, that's Brian Brunick from St. Francis. 2 St. Francis runners together, Pat Quinn and Brian Brunick. And Brunick, a junior who thought his day was done. Have you ever seen that?
No, I have not, but I'm glad I have seen it today.
Yeah, that was
for his sake.
Very nice. How about the other competitors kind of giving a high five there as he was coming back?
You know,
that's what it's all about.
Oh, definitely. There's kind of a fraternity among the distance group. These kids have run against each other in cross country. In fact, 7 of the top 10 in last fall state cross country meet are in this section today. So it's an outstanding field. They know one another, have run against each other, and they're glad to have him back, I'm sure.
Paul Jalema is in this race. He finished 3rd last year in this event as a sophomore. He's a junior from Ileana Christian. He started in the 2nd spot in alley number 2, ran a 9:29.06, and leading the way out front, breaking out. And that is Jalema, as we were talking about Jalema from Ileana Christian. He finished 3rd a year ago. He qualified this year at about 9, and he ran a 9:29 last year, so he's got the capability of winning this event this season.
I referenced cross country field. He's a defending state champion, or was the state champion, I should say, last fall in cross country.
As they make the turn here at the south turn on lap number 2 of the 3,200-meter run here in Class A. Let's send it down on the field. Lee Hall's got an update on one of the field events.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Actually, we've got an update on 2 of the events. A couple of the defending champs we talked about earlier in the program have gone on and defended their state titles. As we take a look at AA pole vault, we take a look at Mark Zilch out of Lake Park, Illinois. He won last year with a height of 15 feet. He had already cleared 15.3. This was 15.9, going to add for his personal record. He didn't clear 15.9, but he wins and defends his AA title in the pole vault at 15 feet 3 inches. So our congratulations to Mark Zilch. We are currently watching Chris Starren. He is the defending champ in the AA boys high jump. He is going to try and clear 7 feet. He has failed on his first couple of attempts. The record in the IHSA high jump held by Tom Smith of Hayworth back in 1985. He cleared 7.3 1/4. Sterin is the champion already at 6 feet 10 inches. That was his sectional qualifying height. He clears it today to win. He is going now for his 3rd attempt at 7 feet. As we talk to you now, Sterin is lining it up and going for 7 feet. As we mentioned, he defended his state championship a little bit earlier, trying to clear 7 feet. Let's go back upstairs to you.
Picking it back up now in the 3,200-meter run here in Class A. You see the leader, Paul Jalema, running very well. Excellent stride, under control, nice and loose. He's got a big lead on John Houseworth here for the Class A 3,200-meter run. Coach, he's looking well, running very well, Jalema.
He's led, it looks like he's going to lead from wire to wire. He's not been challenged since the early first or second lap, running well under control. I think the only thing in question might be for second or third at this point, but Jalema, the state champion cross country last fall, the junior from Lansing, Ileana Christian.
Really running strongly, and he led at the end of the first lap. As Coach just said, he's been leading the entire race. He finished third a year ago, ran a 9:29.06. There you see the time. As he comes towards the finish line, he'll get the bell, and he's got 1 lap to go for the Class A state title. He is a junior from Ileana Christian High School in Lansing, Illinois, and taking right now second, falling considerably back off of Jalema's pace, is Houseworth, John Houseworth. He's from Eureka. And running right now in third is Steve Wilson from the Elmwood Co-op. But this race belongs to that man you see right there, Paul Jalema. And Coach, he really looks good.
He does. He's running very, very well. And on his way to this Class A title, unchallenged.
As he makes the final turn, he'll make the turn in about 9 minutes. He's going to better his time coming in. His best, Jalema ran a 9:48 at the sectional Class A championship. Much better here. He's going to win a state title, and he's finishing strong coming down the stretch. He'll be under 9:20 or thereabouts, it looks like. Paul Jalema almost lapping the final contestant, crosses the line. There's your Class A 3,200-meter champion. Outstanding run for the junior from Ileana Christian High School. And our next race coming up, the Class AA 3,200-meter run. There you get a look at alley number 1. Ray from Naperville North with a time of 9:14 coming in. Second alley, Tony Ricaric from Palatine, 9:16.9. The third alley, led by Dan Glaz, 9:19.4 coming in. And the fourth alley, Steve Pfeiffer from Edwardsville High School, sophomore, at 9:21.5. There's your field for the 3,200-meter run. Here's the record. And, of course, the record last year set by Donald Sage for Class AA, 8:42.89. The overall IHSA record, Craig Virgin, the outstanding long-distance runner from Lebanon back in '73. Competitors in their alley, we are ready for the start of the Class AA 3,200-meter run. Again, the best time coming in from Brian Ray, the inside position on alley number 1 at 9:14.1. Tony Ricaric, Dan Glaz, Steve Pfeiffer also figure to be competitive in this event as well. And Dan Hout, the cross-country champion from this fall's in the field as well, Coach.
Well, this field is loaded again with just top all-around distance runners. I think that difficult to call. Obviously, Ray comes in with the fastest time, but it'd be difficult to predict anything other than the fact this is going to be an outstanding race. I don't know that we'll see anybody break away early on. I think that there'll probably be a big group at least through 1,600 meters before anybody tries to make it a move and separate themselves.
As they make the first turn, that's Brian Ray you see in the lead, coming in with the best time. White over dark out front. Tony Ricaric in all gray is just behind him, and now coming up to the outside comes Ricaric here as they come down the stretch here to complete lap number 1. And the field bunched very closely here at the start of this 3,200-meter race. As the coach was just saying, could be anybody's run. Right now it's Brian Ray, the leader, after one lap. As we return to the 3,200-meter run, in the lead right now is Tony Ricaric. You see there in gray. Closely behind him, red over blue, orange over blue, is Dan Glass from Stagg High School. As we complete the 3,200-meter run, they are on, right now, this is completing the fifth lap. And with a field event report, another famous Douglas from Quincy, our Lee Hall is standing by with Tony Douglas. Lee?
All right, Casey, thanks a lot. Yeah, Tony Douglas is a tough guy to catch up with. He was in the high jump, the long jump, and the triple jump today. He's been running all over the place. We finally got a hold of him here. Winner in the long jump and third in the triple jump. Didn't get to go on in the high jump. Went out at 6'4". Tell me about the long jump today.
I already had a good jump in, so I could just sit back and relax and just wait for someone to try to beat that. So it was pretty good.
Are you surprised 23:11 from yesterday? You surprised that stood up?
Not really. With the seedings before, I kind of figured it would.
Tell me about competing in so many events in the state finals. It's got to be kind of grueling for you today.
Yeah, I'm usually used to just doing all four one day, but coming back the second day is kind of tough on my legs.
Of course, anybody that follows sports in Illinois knows the Douglas name. We saw you in the Super Sectional a couple of years ago for Quincy Senior, and remember your uncles Bruce and Dennis very well. What are they up to now?
One of them is back in Quincy, Dennis is, and my Uncle Bruce he's in Chicago. He was head coaching for a while, and he's in Chicago now.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, congratulations. First in the long jump and third in the triple jump. One of the great names in Illinois sports, Tony Douglas, carrying on the family tradition here today, back upstairs.
All right, thank you very much, Lee. He had a jump of 24.7, did Douglas, in the sectional qualifying, and had he been able to replicate that, would have had a state record. But 23.11, the winning jump in long jump. As we return to the track here, they have just started the 7th lap of this 8-lap 3,200-meter run in Class AA. Again, hanging on to the lead. You see in all gray, that is Palatine High School's Tony Ricaric. And running right off his right shoulder in orange and blue is Stagg High School's Dan Glass as they approach the midway point of lap number 7. Let's take a look now at the team standings for the race for the Class AA title. There you see Dixon on top of Pekin, followed by Mount Vernon. But that is only after 6 events. Much will change between now and that 4x400 meter relay.
Definitely will. I think what we see probably are the results of a number of the field events that have concluded already.
And here they come down the trackside stretch here, awaiting the bell for the final lap of the 3,200 meter run. Again, in front, in the gray, from Palatine High School, Tony Ricaric. He had a 9:16.9 coming in, and followed closely behind by Palos Hills Stagg High School's Dan Glass. And those two have broken cleanly from the rest of the pack. And now all of a sudden, here comes Glass passing Ricaric on the stretch and the south turn, and he is really legging it out, Coach, on the back stretch.
Well, we started to see some separation in the field on the 5th lap. At the beginning of the 6th lap, these two young men, Serge, decided to pull away from the rest of the field, and they've done it. Ricaric led most of the last 600 meters, but obviously being challenged by Glass now. You see from York, Adam Roach moving up. Key for York in terms of their the points they'll need for the team title race.
Here they make the final turn. Ricaric battling Glass again. The two are coming stride for stride down the home stretch. The fans on their feet. This is going to be a close finish to the 3,200 meter run. Glass fighting off Ricaric, showing the strength and the stride to take it to the tape. He'll win the 3,200 meter Class AA state title in a pretty fine time. Looked like he was under 9:10. Tremendous run by those two competitors. Glass is the winner from Stagg High School. Ricaric from Palatine High School finishes second. We get a look at the winning 3,200 meter, and here they come down the stretch, Coach.
Well, this is just exactly the way it must have looked at the state cross country meet last fall. Glass was 3rd, Ricaric was 4th. They're 1 and 2 here. Great race for both of these young men.
the 110-meter high hurdle for Class A. You get a look at the lane assignments there. Brian Pratt in 1, Lowell in 2, Scheuer in 3, Sinclair in 4, and the man with the fastest time in the preliminaries was Dan Roby, ran a 14.95. Josh Wakey on his outside, Kyle Franklin, Tyson Greppinger, and Mike Brummel in lane number 9. Let's go back down on the field. Our Lee Hall standing by. Lee?
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Of course, we have a couple of repeat winners in field events. Mark Zilch in the pole vault and Chris Starren in the high jump. Went for 7 feet. Way to go. A little bit of a stumble there on the third attempt.
Yeah.
I think it's great that you went for it, though. Tell me about the decision to go for 7 feet after you had it sewn up anyway.
Well, you know, I knew I had that jump in me, and I just felt the adrenaline pumping and thought 7 feet is like a pinnacle number. I just wanted to try to go out with you know, a great jump. So that's why I went for it.
Yeah. You cleared 6:10 for the win. Tell me about winning it back-to-back. How was this year different than last?
This year, you know, just the experience of what it takes when you get down to the last 4 guys, 3 guys, you know, the last 2. Knowing that, like, misses are so important at this time of year in the state meet. So just the experience, I think, helped a lot. I mean, a lot of these guys have been here before. Creekmer, I think this was his first year, but, you know, Iguodala and some other guys have been here before. So just the experience and, you know, a little pressure I put on myself, but, you know, just focusing in on what I had to do.
He's headed to Notre Dame this fall. How many people have bugged you for tickets?
Oh, probably over 40, getting close to 50.
All right, a lot of Irish football fans out there bugging Chris Starren. Hey, add 2 to that, will you?
All right.
All right, I'll give you my card. Back upstairs to you guys.
And we are set for the start of the Class A 110-meter high hurdles as we come back here to the action here at Eastern Illinois' Charleston, Illinois' Eastern Illinois University. And you want to pay attention to the middle lanes. Dan Roby in all blue from Burlington Central had the fastest time, 14.95 in lane 5. Josh Wakey with the Wild Sox in black ran a 15.12. He is just to his outside, and they're off. Clean start. And with the break over the first hurdles, Roby, he's opening the gap. This is Roby running strong down the middle of the track. Wakey coming up strong on the outside, starting to make ground on him over the last hurdle. Now close finish, and it's Wakey at the wire.
Oh, what a great race by Wakey. It looked early on that Roby was going to just run away with it, then struggled in the middle, about the 5th hurdle, and lost his balance. Wakey closed the gap, may have got him at the wire. We're going to have to take a look again, but it looks like Wakey won it.
Tremendous run by Josh Wakey. You can see the Wild Sox, a bit of a free spirit, the defending pole vault champion from a year ago. And he's looking for another pole vault title this year as well. Here's his start. And again, it was Roby getting out to a very strong start.
Yeah,
but
clearly.
How about that finish by Wakey?
Clearly, but we may be able to see here where he runs into some trouble. He either hits a hurdle, loses his balance, comes down off the hurdle, maybe a little bit right there. Yes.
Trail Lake caught that hurdle and it threw him off.
And he's not able to recover as well. And Wakey's got his opportunity to close the gap and go on to win.
Yeah, Wakey really ran a strong second half, and that's your Class A champion, Josh Wakey, the senior from Herscher High School from the Herscher Tigers. And now next up, the Class AA 110-meter high hurdle race. And the lane assignments, Brandon Gebert from Hinsdale Central, Randy Wright, Eric Mitchum, Abe Jones. Remains to be seen whether he will run or whether he will scratch today. Hamstring injury yesterday. A.J. Harris in 5. Kevin Knoll, who's also battling a hamstring problem, in 6. Pulled out of the 300-meter yesterday. Zach Gorsage, Enrique Cook, and Matt Comella from Moline. Here's a look at the Class AA record, 13.9. Derek Cole, Kenneth Moore, and Pierre Leinbach, you see, from Hoffman Estates, the most recent trackster to do it. And a full start in lane 4, and that is your defending state champion, Abe Jones, and he will not be running here this afternoon. He has just knocked himself out with that full start. Let's take a look at it, Coach, on the screen.
We try to teach kids to listen for the gun and concentrate on movement, and you've got to remain focused.
And a clean start this time. On the inside, taking the early lead is A.J. Harris. Harris in the gold top, blue bottoms with the lead as he comes over the 7th. Now 8th hurdle, looking strong towards the stretch, and he will win it. A.J. Harris from Wheaton North with the victory in the Class AA 110-meter high hurdles. And the unofficial time here in the stadium clock has him under 14, probably right around 14. But an excellent run for A.J. Harris, and it's always a little tough when you got that lane open next to you after the guy false starts and is out of the race.
I'll tell you what, I'd prefer it as a hurdler. You know you're not going to get any contact from anybody on that side of you, but he's just so technically sound if you watch this in slower motion. He's one of the more efficient hurdlers in the field, football player at Wheaton North. Guy just got great speed, but equally as important as his technique, is as good as anybody in the field, and just so strong, runs right on to the win.
Yeah, really does a good job with that trail leg coming off, attacking the hurdles, and an excellent run for A.J. Harris, your Class AA 110-meter high hurdle champion. You're tuned to the IHSA TV Network's version of the IHSA Track and Field Spring Spectacular. We'll be back after these local messages. Welcome back here at O'Brien Stadium in Charleston, Illinois at Eastern Illinois University. The Spring Spectacular, the IHSA Spring Track and Field Spectacular. We're set for the 100-meter dash in Class A. There's the lane assignments. Thurston, Bynum, Swindler, Thomas in lane 4, and then the two favorites in 5 and 6. Brad Brashear with the best preliminary time yesterday, 10.97. The defending state champion Ryan Shields from Leo High in 6. Mastrino, that's Terry Mastrino's younger brother, Hertzner, and outside, and here's the record for this event. Clean start. Brashear in the middle of the track, all blue with the early lead out of the gate. Now here comes Shields on his left. Shields overtaking Brashear, and Shields is going to win this going away, coming down the stretch with Brashear a close second. Excellent run, excellent start by Brashear, but then Shields coming on strong about the midway point of the race.
I'll tell you, it was very even all the way through. Daniel Thomas got out real well in lane 4 to the right of Brad Brashear. But Ryan Shields, Brad Brashear, the class of this field, very close at the finish, maybe a little closer than people thought, as Brashear actually
stayed right in there.
Yes,
didn't he?
He does. Yes, he does. And at this point, you can see him maybe close down just a little bit.
Well, an excellent run. So Leo Lions, Ryan Shields defends his state title in the 100. He's got a chance to defend 3 state titles today. I'm not sure they were sure where the finish line was. They were both
you know, and it may have thrown us off a little bit. They ran, we teach kids to run right on through the finish line, and they were headed on out of the stadium.
Now up next, the Class AA 100-meter championship, the lane assignments. Tripp in 1, Cole in 2, Mitchell, Ron Mitchell, one of the favorites, coming in 3. Stenberg, you see there in 4. Virgil, Kime, Jackson, Walker, and Cooper. And taking a look at the record for this event, 10.32, the A record, which is actually better than the AA record, set in 96 by Steve Thomas of Kenwood.
Important race for Thornwood.
They're off cleanly. Stenberg with a good start from Joliet Catholic. Now Virgil coming up with the outside.
Ron
Jackson
Mitchell.
inside. Mitchell wearing yellow. This will be close at the stretch. Jackson coming up. Mitchell's got him inside. It looked like it was Mitchell first, and then Teddy Jackson from Peoria Manual running outside in lane 7. But lane 1, Ron Mitchell, who was the prohibitive favorite coming in from South Holland Thornwood, had a easy run yesterday, sort of in the prelims at 11.17. This much faster with a prevailing wind behind him. The stadium clock stopped at 10.42. The official time is going to be awfully quick for Ron Mitchell, the Class AA 100-meter champ. Let's take a look at the replay. You can see Stenberg in white from Joliet Catholic got out to the best start of the crew,
Just
and then it
explodes out. Yes, the field comes back a little bit to him, but as you see right there, 30 meters into the race, Mitchell is out in front. Got a little bit of a margin there. You see Teddy Jackson from Manual appears to be battling for second at that point.
Tell you what, Kime from Batavia hung tough in there as well.
Yes,
he was right in the mix.
Prairie Conference.
He looked like he was right with Jackson. Let's go back down in the field with an update on the triple jump event. Our Lee Hall is standing by. Lee?
All right, Casey and Coach, thank you very much. Well, we talked about the 3 defending field champions in Class AA when we started the day, and it's a hat trick for the 3 of them. Chris Starren won the high jump. Mark Zilch repeated in the pole vault, and in the triple jump from Decatur MacArthur, it's senior Tillian Smith with a jump of 50 feet. 3 inches. He was actually longer a year ago with his jump of 50 feet 10 inches. He was second as a sophomore, won the state championship a year ago as a junior, and defends that state championship here today as a senior. So as we mentioned, the 3 state champions in the field events in AA repeat today. A perfect hat trick in AA. Back upstairs to Casey and Coach. Gentlemen.
You might as well call it a dash because they're running as fast as they can go for 2 laps. King, Boehner, Brand, Van Osdel, Glavish, Vaughn, Burns, Holden, Schnitker, Ali, Ordaz, Myers. And they are off. The best time in the preliminary, starting in lane 1, inside position, Aaron King from Knoxville ran a 1:56.06, and he's off to an excellent start on the outside, flying out there in alley number 3. Making the break with him is Whitney Burns from Chicago Leo as they come in now single file lane on that back stretch. That is Burns running right on the right shoulder of Aaron King from Knoxville. Burns from Chicago Leo.
King took it out real strong, got to the brake line well ahead of the rest of the field just to make sure I'm certain that he had free and clear running through this first lap. He ran 1:54 point at the Peoria Honor Roll meet a week or 2 ago, so he's got to be the clear favorite, not only on the basis of what he has done yesterday in the prelims, but certainly that race that he ran in the Peoria Honor Roll meet. They are at 55 flat at the 400.
Coming up strong now on the outside is Earl Ollie from Burlington Central. He had the best time coming into this state meet, ran a 1:57.29 yesterday. And Ali from Burlington Central trying to make a race out of it with Aaron King, but King still in the lead. About a 2-stride lead on Ali as they take it to the back straightaway and get set to come off the curve about 200 meters from the finish line now as they make the start into the turn. Again, it's Aaron King in command. Ali is second. And coming up third on the outside now, Leo, and that is Whitney Burns. Burns is making a race out of it. He just overtook Ali, and he's challenging Aaron King. This is King still with the lead. Burns is being held off by King. A strong finish by Aaron King from Knoxville. He'll take the tape, and there's your Class A champion. Burns is second, followed by Ali third. But a good strong run from Aaron King.
Oh, just really a smart race. Went out 55 at the quarter, about 125 point something at the 600 meters. It just was really in control. Was able to fight off the challenge from both Burns and Ali.
From the gun to the wire, Aaron King, who had the inside position and Ali won by virtue of the best time, was the leader and the winner. Here you get a look at a good strong run down the stretch by King.
Maintaining good technical form as he battles right on through the finish line. Unofficially 1:54.796, but second place for Burns, obviously important for Chicago Leo's title hopes with the 8 points that they'll score from that.
Burns really with a good attempt to overtake King, but King really fought him off strongly. And let's take a look now. Coming up next, we've got the 800-meter run in Class AA. There's your defending champion, Tim Hobbs, inside position in alley number 1. Cruz, who finished 5th a year ago in the 800-meter, will be a strong contender for the title as well. Mahon, Meeks, Wood, Hack in alley number 2. Alley 3, it's Krieger, Treadway, and Struggles. Trudaner, Smith, and Mettinger from Moline in alley 4. And there's a look at the overall record for the 800-meter. We are set for the Class AA 800-meter run, and the guy to watch on the inside, alley number 1, defending state champion Tim Hobbs. And he makes a great start inside. Also, Gabriel Cruz figures to be strong in the finish. Bronco Meeks, Mark Krieger, Jeremy Crudenier, also all running 1:55 yesterday in the prelims. And breaking out front, actually in front of Hobbs. Hobbs running in second right now.
And ahead of Hobbs is Gabriel Cruz. That's Cruz in the lead right now, followed by Hobbs in second. Gabriel Cruz finished 5th last year in the 800-meter run, 153.94. Hobbs won the title last year in 153.18. So it was a close race last year, 1st to 5th, 0.8 of a second, 0.7 of a second. Figures to be that way this year.
Well, yes, these three ran against each other a week ago in the York sectional. They're the 3 leaders in this race at the quarter.
That is Tremel Smith in 3rd right now from Willowbrook High School in Villa Park. And right now, though, breaking away, it's Tim Hobbs gaining some distance between he and Gabriel Cruz. Hobbs taking it out strong here in the bell lap of this 800-meter. Long stride, smooth running down the back stretch. And coming up now, overtaking Cruz on the outside in a fight for 3rd right now. That looks like Jake Hack from Woodstock.
They were at 124 at the 600, about where he would expect him to be.
Yeah, Hobbs,
with 200 to go.
This is his race coming down the stretch. It'll just depend on the time now. We're at 143. Hobbs legging it out for the finish. Cruz will finish 2nd. It's going to be a fight for 3rd as Crudenner was just overtaken, but there's your champion, Hobbs. Cruz has 2nd, and finishing 3rd was Mark Krieger from Rock Island. That was Mark Krieger in 3rd, but there's your champion. 2-time 800-meter champion Tim Hobbs. Won it last year, and he adds it this year, helping York's cause for perhaps another team state title.
Well, they're trading points, definitely, event by event, but it doesn't get any better than this, than the 10 that Hobbs is going to score for York here. But he was in control. He's owned this event for the last 2 years, and it just caps a great career as an 800-meter runner here in Illinois for York High School.
Ran a 153 last year, and this time figures to be better than that. The stadium clock had 151.90, but there's Tim Hobbs, your champion, the 800-meter run. Well, this is the IHSA Spring Spectacular on the IHSA TV network. Welcome back here at O'Brien Stadium. There you see, since 1974, the site of the IHSA track and field meet for both the boys and the girls, Class A and AA. It's the IHSA Spring Spectacular 2001. And taking a look now at our next event. It is the 4x200 relay in Class A. The lane assignments, you see Chester, Sparta, Kankakee, McNamara, Herscher in 4. The favorite, the Harrisburg Bulldogs in 5. Luther South in 6. Tuscola, Amboy, and Byron. Taking a look at the record for this event. In Class A, Caro ran a 128.17 back in '84. Harrisburg, with some excellent exchanges and a good race, could threaten that record here today.
Clearly the favorite here. I think that they'll be challenged by Luther South.
Luther South
just outside of them in red.
In lane 6, and they are off. Harrisburg lead leg run by John Perkins as they come down the far stretch, running the straightaway. Get a look at the staggers. All pretty much even on this first leg, and it will be now running second leg. Perkins handing the baton off to Nick George Jr.
Casey Bishop McNamara running well in green over green on the inside. Got through the exchange zone as early as anybody in the field at this point, and still running well.
Still anybody's race as they make the handoff for the third leg of the 4x200 meter relay here to decide the Class A title. Good exchanges all the way around here on this third leg, running the third leg inside position for Harrisburg. The Bulldogs is Braden Jones. He won the long jump title earlier today, and he is legging it out, giving Brad Brashear a big lead to bring it home for the victory here in the 4x200. An excellent exchange now between Jones and Brashear. Brashear, who we'll be seeing a lot of. He finished second in the 100 meter to Leo's Ryan Shields, and he's going to bring home the baton in the #1 position. It's just a matter of what the time will be. Brashear with a huge lead, but a big race for second. Three teams neck and neck. Hirscher coming up to take second now. And coming in third, Luther South. But the champion, the Bulldogs from Harrisburg. Could have a new record in this race. The stadium clock was showing 127.8. The Class A record was 128.17, so it should be right around 128. The final time for the Bulldogs as they celebrate the title. Brad Brashear, you saw there with the baton, but they are the Class A 4x200 meter relay champions. And next up now, the Class AA 4x200 meter relay. You see the lane assignments there. Danville in 1. Batavia in 2, the Rocks from Rock Island in 3, Chicago Heights Bloom in 4, and in 5, Harvey Thornton, Plainfield, MacArthur, Hinsdale, and Thornwood. Harvey Thornton with the best time yesterday, 127.68. Taking a look at the Class AA record now. East St. Louis, the Flyers smoking back in 75, 125.7. But Coach Lee Hallberg, the team that's maybe the team to beat, the South Holland Thornwood Thunderbirds, starting in lane 9. They just barely qualified yesterday because they didn't use Ron Mitchell to anchor the relay, saving him for today.
Well, I had a feeling that after the prelims that we would see this today, and sure enough, he's going to anchor this team. It'll be interesting to see how they will run out there in lane 9, but I suspect very competitively.
Roger Driver at the top of your screen running the lead leg for South Holland Thornwood. He's the lead runner there to the left, as you see. In lane 5 for Harvey Thornton, Jeremy Johnson as they approach the exchange point. The staggers all pretty much as they started out, so pretty even going into the second leg. A clean exchange for South Holland Thornwood in the outside. Running number 2 for them is Stephen Taylor. Running well, though, in lane 7, Decatur MacArthur, Tillian Smith, who won the triple jump, running the second leg here, the 4x200, running a great leg.
They're well out in front at this point, running extremely well. Tillian Smith, a key factor in Decatur MacArthur's hopes to get a trophy.
He hands off to Ken Carson, running leg number 3. For South Holland Thornwood, running leg number 3 is Chris Horton. And coming up inside now also is Harvey Thornton. That's James Cooper with an excellent leg inside. Look at Cooper coming up the track, flying up on the far side. It's basically a two-team race, it looks like now, between Thornton on the inside in lane 5 and Thornwood outside. Here's Ron Mitchell, their superstar, with the anchor leg. And he'll be running against Thornton's Jeremy Johnson, a freshman. So Mitchell, the senior, makes the turn with a big lead, and he'll bring it home for Thornwood. They will be the champions, and it's a fight for second. Jeremy Johnson trying to hang on. There's Thornwood with the title. And Thornton second, and it looked like Bloom inside in 4, picked up third. Jeremiah Walker running the final anchor for Bloom.
Ron Mitchell is amazing.
Isn't he?
Barely qualify for the finals. They put him in, and they go from barely qualifying to running away with this event.
Of course, yesterday they had the problem in the exchange between the third and fourth leg that really cost them a lot of time as well. Here we see the replay. Look at this kid. He doesn't fit your prototypical sprinter style, rather long and lean, Ron Mitchell, but he can really fly.
He's just simply fast, and I'll tell you, a lot of kids will tell you they don't like lane 9. It had no negative effect on Thornwood.
There you see our camera at the finish line. Some excellent shots as the young men cross the line here at the IHSA Track and Field Spring Spectacular as we set the next race. Coming up next, the 400-meter dash, the Class A race. You get a look at the lane assignments there. Campbell in 1, McDonald in 2, Jones in 3, Stambaugh in 4. And the favorite in the race, Shields, with the fastest time yesterday in the prelims, running in 5. Shearer, Perot, Graham, and Mincemoyer. Taking a look at the record for the Class A 400-meter dash, goes back a ways. Mark Claypool from Maple Park High School in Canelan, an outstanding run in 77. Happy Memorial Day weekend to all of you who are observing the weekend, and especially of those of you that might have served in our armed forces. The favorite in this event, Ryan Shields, the defending champion, in lane 5, white over red in the middle of the track. He ran a 48.25 last year. Defending champion, he won the 100-meter And he anchored the 4x100 this year to second place finish for Leo. And Ryan Shields off to an excellent start. You can see he's already made up the stagger on the competitors to his outside as they come down the back stretch. Also running outside of him is Matt Shearer from Red Hill High School in Bridgeport. It's a two-man race right now, Shearer and Shields. Shields on the inside, Shearer to his outside. Representing the Bridgeport Red Hill Salukis, and the Leo Lion looking for the repeat in the 4x400 meter dash, and it's Ryan Shields coming down the backstretch. The stretch here strong, and Shearer will finish second. And finishing third in lane 7 was Clinton Perot from Plano. As expected, another excellent run performance by Ryan Shields.
Well, I'll tell you, I watched Matt Shearer also yesterday. He's a finalist today in 4 events. As you can see, he gave Shields a race all the way to the wire. Looked like he might close it down a little bit here, but Shields, as strong as he is, again, as strong as he is, defends that state title.
The clock here, the unofficial at times showing 47.394. He ran a 48.21 in the prelims, so looks to be about a mid-47 time. An excellent run for Ryan Shields, the junior. Now next year will have a chance to come back and be a 3-time state champion in both the 100 meters and the 400 meters. He's still got the 200 meters to go. Next up, Class AA, the 400 meter dash to set your lane assignments. Mark Ackley, who was the ran the last leg of Downer Grove North 4x800 meter relay, and then you've got Augury, Andrews, and Dickerson. And then in lane 5, Sean Dickerson, who had the fastest qualifying time at 48.21. Dion Ballantyne, Terry Mastrino, who finished second a year ago in this event, Devon Clark, and Mike Mitidiero. And taking a look at the record for this event, again, in Class AA from Mount Carmel, Harold Leonard back in 1985 with an excellent run. We are all set for the Class AA 400 meter dash. Again, the favorite in lane 5, Sean Dickerson, ran a 48.21 yesterday. Felix Anderson from Thornton is in his inside, and Dion Ballantyne from Thornwood to his outside in lane 6. Also keep an eye on Terry Mastrino, the excellent sprinter from York, finished second in this event a year ago. This is the only individual event he's in today, Mastrino. Mastrino making up the stagger on the outside on lanes 8 and 9 as they make the first turn. Running in the middle of the track, Sean Dickerson coming up strong in the Navy, overtaking Ballantyne, who was to his outside. Dickerson looking very strong in the first 200 meters, Coach.
Yeah, Mastrino, now Dickerson moving into the lead, but Felix Anderson and Ballantyne running shoulder to shoulder.
And don't count out Tyrese Andrews, the sophomore from Bloom, coming up strong to challenge the senior Sean Dickerson. This is Andrews, the sophomore in white from Bloom on the inside, with the lead still is Sean Dickerson. Coming up on the outside, Dion Ballantyne. But it's Dickerson who will take the tape for the championship, give second place to Ballantyne, and Felix make that Tyrese Andrews from Bloom finishes in that third spot. I take that back. That was Felix Anderson from Thornton finishing third. Felix Anderson, white over blue from Thornton, the senior, finishing third. Taking a look at the replay.
It was a good race through that 300 meter point, but Dickerson just overpowers the field here. He is so strong. Here a year ago, ran well, got hurt, but has come back healthy, stronger than ever, the coaches tell me, and as evidenced by this finish here.
Terrific run by the senior from Southeast Springfield High School, Sean Dickerson. You get a look at the winner, and an excellent run by Dickerson here today. You're tuned to the IHSA Track and Field Spring Spectacular on the IHSA TV network. Back after these local messages. Taking a look at the lane assignments for the Class A final for the 300-meter intermediate hurdles. There you see one of the favorites there, Josh Wakey in the middle. Paul Schur to his outside, also the figures to be right there as well. Franklin, Paff, and Blevins, Umbarger, Segoviano, Roby, and King. King, who won the 800 meter just recently, just minutes ago, running in the 300 meter final. And they're off to a clean start. And already making a good run is Paul Schur, making up the stagger. He's in the green on the outside, well ahead of the competition as he heads into the turn. Schur, though, with missing the steps badly that last hurdle, lost some ground as they make the turn coming home. And out front, wearing all blue, is Mike Paff from St. Francis. He's in lane number 8. Paff with an outstanding run. He qualified at 40.14, but he's got a great run coming. Schur trying to catch up, just fell over the 9th hurdle. Here's the 10th hurdle, and a victory for Paff. Mike Paff from Wheaton St. Francis, who a year ago finished 6th in this race, just ran a fabulous time. Around 38, he qualified at 40.30. He shaved about 2 seconds off his qualifying time.
Well, I'll tell you what, he may have surprised an awful lot of people. Probably didn't surprise himself, but he came into this certainly not one of the favorites, but took charge early and held on to win.
Paul Schur, who was one of the favorites, he was the competitor that you saw fall over the 9th hurdle, the second to last hurdle coming down the stretch. And Josh Wakey, who had the fastest time coming in, really wasn't much of a factor. Must have gotten in trouble early because was not a factor coming down at the finish. But there's your champion, Mike Paff, with the victory from St. Francis High School in Wheaton. And now let's go back down onto the field. Lee Hall standing by with another report.
All right, Casey, thanks a lot. Thornwood going for that state championship in AA. One of the guys who's going to carry them there is Ron Mitchell. At least that's what he wants. He's already the winner in the 100-meter dash, and your team won the 4x200-meter relay. Been a good day for you so far.
Today we just felt like, we were the underdogs coming into this state meet. I mean, you can be tired of being under York for so long. Then we felt like we had something to show into this meet today.
Tell me about the 100-meter dash. Teddy Jackson of Peoria Manual almost caught you.
I was kind of confused towards the end. I didn't know what the finish line was. All I had to do was just run through the whole race.
Yeah, you got the 200-meter dash ahead of you.
If I can sustain my speed in the 200 and run against the wind, I feel like I can run a good time in the 2.
Is Eddie Curry as good a guy as he seems to be?
Yeah, he's a pretty good guy. I'm friends with him. He's nice.
Yeah, Thornwood went down to state in basketball and looking for a state title here today. Back upstairs.
All right, thank you very much, Lee. And we are set now for the Class AA running of the 300-meter intermediate hurdles. There you see the lane assignments. Adrian Walker in 1, Gebert in 2, Probst in 3, Camella from Moline in 4. 5 is Nelson. Lillard in 6. He ran an excellent race yesterday. Young, Williams, and Schnackle. And let's take a look at the record for the 300-meter intermediate hurdles. The AA record that you see there, set in 1999. John. And we are ready for the Class AA 300-meter intermediate hurdle race. And the favorite in this race from yesterday's qualifying round in lane 5, Alonzo Nelson. He's a junior from East St. Louis Senior High School. The flyer will try to fly to a state title. To his outside, Theodo Lillard had an excellent run yesterday at 38.83. And inside, Matt Camello from Moline ran a 38.91. And they are off. Clean start here in the 300 intermediate hurdles. And a quick start to the outside was Lillard from Danville. Also coming up now is Alonzo Nelson as they make the turn. Running well, though, in lane 6 is Lillard as he's got the lead coming around the turn. Excellent run by Lillard. White over the dark. He's got the lead. To his inside is Alonzo Nelson in second, but this is Lillard's race. The senior from Danville High School. 1 hurdle to negotiate, makes it, and there is the victory. Lane 6, Theodo Lillard from Danville, victorious, representing the Vikings and doing so well.
He got out extremely well, beat everybody through the first 2-3 hurdles, and it was a matter of everybody else in the field trying to catch him. But he had enough of a cushion here that he holds on, clears the last hurdle smoothly.
So Lillard takes the title, and having trouble over that last hurdle that'll get you. And Alonzo Nelson fell, so finishing second. It looked like in lane 7 was Anthony Young from Rich Central High School, but You hate to see that. Alonzo Nelson had second place sewn up and tripped coming over the last hurdle. Let's take a look now at our next race. It is the 1,600-meter run, the Class A championship. And the inside position going to Pat Quinn, ahead of the fastest time yesterday in qualifying, 4:23.64. Inside position in alley number 2 goes to Sean Lucas, who ran a 4:25.69. Inside position in alley number 3, Paul Jalema, 4:25.88. The inside position in alley 4 is Daniel Martin from Eureka. Let's take a look now at the overall record 1,600-meter run. There you see the overall mark at 4:07, set by Anthony Isla. And then Class A, Greg Hill from Freeburg, 1981, 4:16.8. And we are off to start the 1,600-meter run in Class A. Again, Pat Quinn had the best time qualifying yesterday, starting in the inside position of alley number 1 from St. Francis High School. Paul Jalema, who won the 2-mile in this race. Jalema starting inside position in alley number 3 from Ileana Christian, and then also finishing second in the 2-mile, Sean Lucas, who was part of this 1,600. I said 2-mile. You know what I meant. 32. You can tell
sure.
we're old track guys. 3,200-meter race. This is the 1,600-meter race.
Sure, we knew what you meant.
As they make the turn, that is Jesse Landry from Mount Olive with the early lead around this first turn of the Class A 1,600-meter run. And again, the record for Class A in this event, 4:16.8. The best time coming in, 4:23.64. And again, now in first place with the lead here at the first lap mark is Jesse Landry still. And that right behind him over his right shoulder is Daniel Martin from Eureka.
They were at 66 at the first quarter, pretty conservative. Now you start to see the pace quicken a little bit as they head to the far side.
With a lap and a quarter in the books of this 1,600-meter run in Class A, let's send it back down on the field. Lee Hall standing by with a report on the high jump. Lee?
All right, thanks a lot, gentlemen. We have just one field event still going, and that's the Class A high jump. And they're going for 6'7" right now. We had just a few guys fail at 6 feet 6 inches. One of the big stories coming into this weekend, James Van Dyke of Delavan, as we take a look at him approaching 6 feet 6 inches. He had the largest leap, and no pun intended, largest leap. He went from 6'5" to 6'9.5" as his top height, and that's what he cleared in sectionals. He is the top qualifier coming into today. And as we take a look at David Tebby of Mount Olive, who is trying to clear 6'6" coming up here, one thing the guys are battling in this wind this afternoon is we've seen the bar come off actually a couple of times as David Tebby goes for 6'6" here. The bar has actually been blown off a couple of times, so that's just yet another of the many things they have to contend with here today in the Class A high jump. We are getting close to crowning a state champion though, and when we have someone, we'll come back to you. Back upstairs, guys.
Thank you very much, Lee. As we pick up things in the Class A 1,600-meter run, they are just coming into the turn here at the top to complete the third lap of this 1,600-meter race. And as we see right now coming around the turn with the lead from Eureka is Daniel Martin. He ran a 4:25.94 yesterday, and he's looking good right now. But a host of runners going out with Martin. In fact, now passing him on the outside, this is Jesse Landry, who was our leader after one lap from Mount Olive. It's the Mount Olive hour right now. We saw the high jumper from Mount Olive, and now we've got Jesse Landry making the break. Bell lap. They're on their way one lap to decide the 1,600-meter 2001 IHSA Class A champion. And going out with Landry is Martin. Running in the third spot there is Matt Field. He's a sophomore from Wheaton Academy. And running fourth right now is Jason Bill and Jalema, who won the 3,200-meter, running right behind Bill. Looks like it could be an exciting finish.
Well, Jalema's run a real controlled race, let everybody lead, probably controlled it from behind. He's still in position he's still in position to make a move to try to win this. We'll see if he's got much left.
Daniel Martin making the break, showing some kick, coming down the stretch. He's in the lead. Daniel Martin, the junior from Eureka, coming up strong, though, on the outside, trying to overtake him. And overtaking him is Matt Field, sophomore from Wheaton Academy. Matt Field at the wire wins the 1,600 meter as he clipped Daniel Martin coming down the stretch. Tremendous effort by the sophomore. Look at the look of disbelief in his face, as if to say, where did that come from? I thought this was just setting the table for next year when I was an upperclassman.
You know, so much for experience. He got it all in a hurry. He's now going to be the defending champion, but he shows good form, maintains his composure. It just sprints right on by.
Tremendous race for both Matt Field, who wins it for Wheaton Academy, the sophomore, and Daniel Martin, the junior from Eureka. They'll be back next year, hopefully, to do it all over again. What a race. And there you get a look at the champion. And again, he's about as happy as could be. Taking a look at our upcoming race, the next race, it is the Class AA 1,600 meter run. And the best time turned in yesterday, 4:16.49. Ian Cronin, he gets the lead spot in the first alley. Lead spot in the second alley goes to David Ray, who ran a 4:17 from Naperville North. Lead spot in alley number 3 goes to Palatine High's Zach Summers, ran a 4:18.22. And the lead alley spot outside in lane 4 goes to Zachary Sartori from Lockport Township. And there you get a look at the record for the Class AA 1,600 meter run. Excellent time turned in by Mark Deedy from Lincolnshire back in '85. We are set for the 1,600 meter run in Class AA, and they're off. Again, Ian Cronin inside position in alley number 1, wearing the green of Stevenson High School from Lincolnshire. He turned in the best time yesterday, a 4:16.49. Again, they are running the 1,600 meter, 4 laps around this Eastern Illinois University track here in Charleston. And it is Cronin in that lead position. Also up there with Cronin is David Ray from Naperville North. And those two slightly ahead of the rest of the pack. Looks like David Ray wants to run from that leadoff spot as he overtakes Cronin now for the lead as they come around the top of the turn here, north part of the stadium, here at O'Brien Stadium. And again, this is David Ray from Naperville North Senior. Also up now, coming up on the outside, is William Artope, finished 5th last year in the 1,600 meter. He's wearing white. And on the inside position of Ray is Cronin once again. So it is Ray and Cronin, the top 2 runners, as we complete the first lap here of the Class AA 1,600 meter run. Let's send it back down onto the field. Our field reporter has got another gem for us. Lee Hall standing by. Lee?
All right, gentlemen. Well, yeah, the guy we're talking to is a gem. Maybe not the report. Casey Becker, the Class A high jump champion with a height of 6'6", went for 6'7", couldn't get it done.
Well, I didn't have any competition. I was just so excited. I think that I might have had better attempts if I had someone with me at 6'7". I was really still excited from the thrill of winning.
Yeah. Tell me about 6'3" in the sectional. 6'6", you've only done that one other time going into today.
Well, I tried to really do it when it counts, and it seems like I did that. Yesterday I struggled. I was moving my head down too early, causing my hips to knock the bar off. I got some help. I looked at a tape, and I think I fixed it.
Yeah, I guess you did. Tell me about jumping in the wind today. I noticed a couple of times guys had the bar blow off.
Yeah, I was lucky. The wind really didn't seem to pick up when I was jumping. A couple guys, I'm sure it affected some of their jumps, but I was really fortunate that it didn't interfere with me.
All right, Casey Becker, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Casey Becker, our Class A high jump champion. He'll be back to defend it next year. Back upstairs.
All right, thank you very much, Lee. And as we pick up the action in the 1,600 meter, they are on the 3rd lap. And we have got a race. We go from Lee Hall to Coach Lee Halberg up in the booth with me. Coach, this is going to be an exciting finish. The runners, as we can see, all bunched together. Anybody's race.
At the halfway point, we were at 2:09. You could throw a blanket over the entire field. I think they're a little cautious, waiting for somebody to try to force the pace, and I expect it to happen. It looks like it could on this straightaway. Now you start to see a little separation.
That out front is Zachary Sartori from Lockport Township High School. And just behind him inside is Ian Cronin. Coming up now to the outside is Carlos Mendoza, who finished 9th a year ago. And look at all of a sudden who just emerged from the field. He had been laying back. Tim Hobbs. We forgot all about Tim Hobbs from York High School. He won the 800 meter. He ran a 4:19 yesterday. He had a little something in reserve, but now look at Hobbs is overtaken. On the outside, it is Zachary Sartori. We've got a race. Sartori, Hobbs coming back to take the lead. And now Sartori dropping off. But fighting Hobbs for the lead is Ian Cronin. Cronin with a tremendous kick comes bounding off the curve. Down the stretch, this is Cronin. He's going to win it going away. Good strong kick by Cronin. Hobbs coming in second. So it'll be Cronin, 7th a year ago, winning it this year as a senior. Hobbs finishes second, and a race for third. Hanging on for third place was Sartori. Oh, a tremendous finish. 4:10.27, an excellent time turned in by Cronin, who ran a 4:16.49 yesterday.
I'll tell you, there were several lead changes there in the last 600 meters. You don't see it that often, but this young man took charge. That final lap, the latest in a long line of outstanding distance runners from Lincolnshire Stevenson.
Hobbs finishing second there as you see Cronin come across the line. But Ian Cronin, congratulations. Stevenson High School, the Class AA 1600 meter champion. You're tuned to the IHSA Spring Spectacular on the IHSA TV network. There you get a look at the Class A standings to date. Harrisburg atop the leaderboard in Class A, 44 points, 3-point lead on Burlington Central. And Chicago Leo 6 points back, Herscher 9 points back. Class AA standings, Thornwood, by virtue of their outstanding sprinters led by Ron Mitchell, 4-point lead over Decatur MacArthur. Thornton 6 points back, and there you see York 9 points behind Thornwood. And we are set for the Class A2 dash. The lane assignments: Thurston in 1, Thomas in 2, Stambaugh in 3, Shearer in 4, and Ryan Shields in 5. He had the fastest qualifying time. Brad Brashear from Harrisburg figures to give him a run for his money. Stanley in 7, Bindham in 8, and Kevin Hill in 9. There you get a look at the record for this event. But we get another chance to see Ryan Shields, the outstanding sprinter from Chicago Leo, trying to defend his 200-meter title. He's won the 100, he's won the 400, he's going for a repeat of his Triple Crown from a year ago.
Brad Bashir in lane 6 just outside of him. Both of them, I'm sure, conscious of the fact that this is key as far as the team title is concerned.
Shields running in lane 5, white over orange. To his outside in all blue will be Brad Brashear. Brashear, who anchored the 4x200 meter relay team. Harrisburg winning that event, what we think was a state record time, 1:28.06. He's to Shields' outside, and the other tough competitor for Shields will be Matt Shearer inside from Bridgeport Red Hill. He turned to 22.13 in yesterday's qualifying. So looking forward to a good race and another more than likely strong performance from the Leo Lion, only a junior, Ryan Shields. And we've got a clean start. Shields is in the middle of the track wearing a white top, orange pants. He's making up the stagger. And to his outside is Brad Brashear. It's Shields with the lead coming out of the turn. Brashear on his shoulder. But Shields with the lead coming down the stretch. Brashear trying to gain ground, hanging tough. Shields has it, though. It'll be Shields, Brashear, and finishing third will be Matt Shearer. Just like we expected, they go 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the track. Tremendous run by Ryan Shields. So what an accomplishment. He repeats his triple of a year ago. He's only a junior. He'll be back next year to try to do it all over again.
I tell you, your kid doesn't get any better than this, but he really runs the turn well. So does Brashear for that matter, but Shields just a little bit stronger as you see him come down the straightaway. But 4 gold medals for Shields today.
An outstanding meet, too, for Brad Brashear. I mean, this kid is run Some excellent races today as well. Finished second to Shields in the 100, finishes second to Shields in the 200, but some valuable points for Harrisburg. Harrisburg looking like the favorite now to win the team title in Class A. Let's take a look now at the Class AA 200-meter dash in lane 1. It'll be Hayden, Stenberg in 2, Bennett in 3, Dickerson, the outstanding senior from Southeast, in 4, Virgil in 5, Kime in 6, Mitchell in 7, Jones in 8, and Beach in 9. Even though Ron Jones will be running in lane 7, he's a favorite in the race. There you got to look at the overall records for the 200-meter dash, Class AA, 20.89. Anthony Mormon tearing up the track just a couple of years ago from Lake Park High School. So should be an excellent 200-meter final here. Well, there you get a look at the rain coming down here in Charleston. We got through 16 of the 18 events, and Mother Nature just opened up the skies. It is a downpour that the Class AA competitors will have to run in here for this 200-meter dash.
We've been fortunate most of the day. Rain was forecast, but we were hoping that it would hold off. Not the case here.
And it's Sean Dickerson in 4, Virgil in 5, but the favorite in lane 7 is Ron Mitchell. Ran a 22.15 yesterday. And they are off. Clean start. Mitchell in lane 7, trying to make up the stagger, coming around the curve, wearing gold top, blue bottom. And inside of him with the lead is Virgil from Urbana High School, red and black. Virgil also coming up on the outside from Rock Island, Maurice Jones. Now a late surge by Mitchell. He's going to take the tape at the end. Looked like getting second was Maurice Jones from Rock Island on the outside. But give the victory to Ron Mitchell. He completes the 100-200 double. And coming over to congratulate Mitchell, that is Maurice Jones, the junior from Rock Island High School. Jones came from lane 8, so lane 7 and 8 finished 1-2 here in the 200.
I tell you, I'm just amazed. He was at about 4th place after the first 100 meters. As they come off the turn, we may be able to see it again here. And tell me I'm crazy, but he made it look awfully easy.
Yeah, he really did. He was coasting coming around the curve, I think, with the wind and the rain. Didn't want to make a mistake, maybe slip on the track like we saw Mastrino yesterday making the prelims. He took it easy, and when he had to turn it on, he turned it on. So Ron Mitchell is your champion. Taking a look now at our next race coming up here in the last event of the day, Class A 4x400 meter relay. And there you get the lane assignments. McNamara in 1, Hersher in 2, Oregon in 3, Burlington Central in 4, IVC in 5, St. Joe's in 6, Warren in 7, Aledo in 8, and on the outside will be Gillespie. Here's the records for the event. Class A record set back in 1983. St. Anne, they ran a 3:20. We are set for the running of the Class A 4x400 meter relay. And again, the team to beat in the middle of the track, one of my favorite nicknames in all. Illinois high school has some great nicknames. The Gray Ghost from IVC. Chillicothe, Illinois. The Gray Ghost in lane 5 ran a 3:25.80 yesterday. To their outside, the St. Joseph Ogden Spartans. And to their inside in lane 4, Burlington Central Rockets. And they are off. Again, IVC, the team to beat in lane 5. And making up the stagger, IVC in this lead lap, actually to the outside of IVC, running very well. St. Joseph Ogden Spartans coming up, making up the stagger on the Warriors from Warren High School. And again, this is 4 laps around the track, the 4x400 meter relay. The last event of this spring spectacular, and we have got a downpour. It is really coming down. Not sure how well you can see it on your TV screen, but it is tough for these kids running right now. A little waterlogged they will be by the end of the race. And making the handoff on the inside position for Kankakee McNamara. Fighting Irish running strong in this event. Running the second leg right now is Ben Fitzpatrick. As they come up on the inside, making the break as they come inside.
Looks like Oregon is in 2nd place at this point. But coming from all the way back, it looks like Burlington Central, Casey, now in second.
Coming up strong on this inside is Burlington Central. Excellent leg run by the second runner here. St. Joseph's Ogden being overtaken by Burlington Central. So as they complete the baton exchange for the third leg of the 4x100, and with it now for Burlington Central is Earl Ollie, the outstanding 800-meter man. He finished third in the 800 meters earlier today, and he's running this third leg of the 4x400. Ollie with an outstanding leg, starting to gain some ground. Running for St. Joseph Ogden is Daniel Whittick. He's a freshman in second place right now. But again, it's Earl Ollie with the lead for Burlington Central. The Rockets, who had the third fastest time in yesterday's prelim, in the lead as they make the exchange for the final leg. And running the anchor leg for Burlington Central is P.J. Carroll. He's a junior. Trying to chase him down will be Andy Ballard from Oregon, as Oregon has taken over the second spot. Andy Ballard's got a tall assignment, though, because a tremendous lead for P.J. Carroll of Burlington Central.
I don't know if anybody can catch him, but this young man.
Look at Ogden coming up.
Yeah, St. Joe Ogden looks like he's going to give it a shot.
And I believe that is Doug McDaniel. Doug McDaniel, the senior from St. Joe Ogden, overtaking Oregon. So St. Joe's in second right now, but here's your leader by a long shot. P.J. Carroll with the anchor leg for the Burlington Central Rockets. The Rockets will win it. And an excellent leg run by St. Joseph Ogden's Doug McDaniel. They take second. The winner, though, Burlington Central, the Rockets, and coming rocketing down the final stretch. You get a look at P.J. Carroll.
You know what, this performance caps really a great meet for Burlington Central. We didn't talk too much about them at the outset, but they have run well in just about every event they've had qualifiers in today.
Well, as we said, a little bit of a downpour here at Eastern Illinois University campus in Charleston. Let's go down in the field where hopefully he's under an umbrella. Our sideline reporter, Lee Hall.
You know what, guys? I had the umbrella. It started to blow away. I started to do a Mary Poppins on you, so I had to fold it back up. We're with Ryan Shields from Chicago Leo, who's good enough to hang around with us and stand out here in the rain. Speaking of standout performance today, first place 100, 200, 400, just like a year ago. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Tell me about running that last one, the 200 meters in the rain. A little treacherous, huh?
Oh, yeah. This season, we haven't went through that much. We practiced for this, running in the rain, the wind, and everything. So I had to just go out, run my race, do what Coach Adams said, and take it from there.
What does it mean to you to do it 2 years in a row?
It feels great. But if only we can just come out here and win this, that would be much better.
You're more worried about the team championship, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Tell me about, you are our country insurance MVP, by the way. Congratulations on that. Tell me about, you were talking to some of the other reporters about your times compared to AA guys. Are you the fastest guy in Illinois?
I have no idea right now. Everybody keeps saying that. And thank you for saying that.
All right. Ryan Shields, congratulations on another great year. We'll see you next year going for the three-peat of 3 straight, 100, 200, 400, back upstairs.
All right, Lee, thank you very much. Lee looks like he's ready for the Iditarod. He's all set to go. The weather.
I think I am. It's a 3-dog night out here.
Yeah, I can see that. That was beautiful, though. Ryan Shields, what a competitor. He does the triple again this year, and we are set now for the Class AA 4x400 meter relay. You get a look at the lane assignments. York in the inside, Willowbrook High School in lane 2, Senior High from East St. Louis in 3, Sycamore, the Spartans in lane 4, and in lane 5, Decatur MacArthur, Thornwood, in 6. So the Thunderbirds will be looking for another relay championship there. St. Charles East, Southeast from Springfield, and Marion High School in 9. Here are the records. Class AA record, 3:14.17, turned in by Thornton High in 1985. We are set for the final event of the day, the Class AA 4x400 meter relay. And again, the favorites in the middle of the track. Decatur MacArthur turned in the best time yesterday at 3:20.98. And South Holland Thornwood just to their outside in lane 6. They're a factor in this race. And the Spartans from Sycamore in lane 4. Taking a look at the standings. Heading into this final race, you see Thornwood with a 7-point lead, and they are off. Running the lead leg for Thornwood is Dion Ballantyne. Lead leg in the middle of the track for Decatur MacArthur, their outstanding triple jumper, Tillian Smith. And for Sycamore, it is Jay Siemens. Again, 4x400 meter relay, so each competitor taking it once around the track. As they come around the curve here at the north end of the stadium for Southeast Springfield, running an excellent leg for the Spartans is Aaron Day. Day making up the stagger there pretty well. And also coming up now for Thornwood on this lead leg, Ballantyne with a good finish. And he gets the baton now to Stephen Taylor, the sophomore for Thornwood. Taking a look at the standings again, York here, head coach Lee Holberg would have to really do well, and Thornwood would have to stumble for them to come from behind and win it. Otherwise, it's Thornwood's title to lose.
It really is at this point. Yes, York's going to have to win, and something bad would have to happen to Thornwood.
York running second right now, actually third right now on this second leg for York is Kevin Lawrence. He's a sophomore. They've got Terry Mastrino. He'll be the anchor. He finished 4th in the 400-meter individual event. As they make the exchange for the third leg, it's Thornwood, though, with the lead. Bringing it in for Thornwood on the second leg is Stephen Taylor. Makes the handoff to Devin Grubbs, and Grubbs with the lead. Running in second is York. Third leg for York is Dan Zibski. And coming up strong now in that third position.
You know, with all the rain that we've got, the exchange is so critically important. You've got to concentrate. You got to look the baton into the hand of that outgoing runner, and that outgoing runner can't turn away. He's got to look it into his hand, make sure he's got a solid grip before he turns and leaves his zone.
I believe that's Hamid, the third runner for East St. Louis, who had a good run, but now coming on strong again is Zabinski. But leading it home, making the handoff for the final leg, is Devin Grubbs. He'll be handing the baton to Roger Driver, the senior for Thornwood. He's got a chance to anchor his team not only to a championship in the 4x400, but a championship in the meet. It's got to be a great feeling for Roger Driver. He was the athlete for Thornwood who said, hey, let's go over and check out York's sectional, scout them. And right behind him is Terry Mastrino, who's going to make things difficult for Driver. Mastrino coming up for York.
It is a fitting end to a great meet for these two schools.
Also and making
Mastrino,
a charge,
obviously,
Clint Churko from St. Charles East.
For the lead.
Here's Mastrino overtaking Driver. Mastrino, who's not had the meet he was hoping for. He's going to anchor York to a championship here in the 4x400. Driver will finish second. Excellent final leg for Terry Mastrino, the senior, celebrating after the finish. Gets the victory he was looking for. And I think he thought it was a foregone conclusion that everybody had conceded the 4x400 meter championship to Thornwood as well. They'll end up winning the state title, but Mastrino makes things interesting.
Well, he's one of several outstanding sprinters in this field today, but ran a great anchor leg to anchor this win for York.
He did run a great leg. Terry Mastrino, great way for him to cap his senior season. A little bit disappointing, his performance. I think he was hoping for more from himself in this meet, but a great way to end it and a great way to finish the meet. A reminder, you're tuned to the IHSA Track and Field Spring Spectacular here on the IHSA TV network. We'll be back after these local messages. Welcome back here to the IHSA Track and Field Spring Spectacular as we wrap up the event here from 2001 from Eastern Illinois' Charleston. Eastern Illinois' O'Brien Stadium here in Charleston, Illinois. And Lee Hall, I understand, standing by with one of the great competitors of this meet in AA, Ron Mitchell. Lee, take it away.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Very emotional, Ron Mitchell, right after it was announced that they had won the state championship. Tell me what that means to you, your senior year, going out the way you did, winning Thornwood's first state title.
I mean, it means a lot to me because Thornwood haven't won a state title in 25 years, I think it is. And bringing this state title in for our coach, it means a lot to us because our coach was nervous from the get-go. And I think, you know, he's relieved now. And I just want to render all this for my coach. I love my coach. I mean, he's a great guy. And I just thank all my teammates for, you know, winning the state title for my coach.
All right, it was a great day for you individually and as a team, and we're taking a look at some of the relay you ran today. Just tell me about competing today and going out as a senior winner.
The relays, they was kind of tough, but, you know, we had to run in this rain. But knowing 3 other of my teammates, you know, they're going to push it for me, and we just kept going.
Hey, way to go. Congratulations. Ron Mitchell, our country insurance MVP for AA, and congratulations to the Thornwood Thunderbirds on their first state championship today. Back upstairs.
All right, thanks a lot, Lee. Well, in basketball AA, Eddie Curry and the Thunderbirds finished second to Schaumburg Saxons, but in track and field, Ron Mitchell and the T-Birds finished second to none. There you see head coach Tony Holler and his Harrisburg Bulldogs hoisting the Class A track and field champions. They won the 3A state football championship, and now they win the Class A state track championship. What a great way for that senior class to go out down there in Harrisburg.
No doubt about it. We said at the outset that they were probably the favorite along with Chicago Leo. And I'll tell you, I don't think we overlooked them, but Burlington Central did a wonderful job all day long in those events that they qualified in and made it close. Obviously 52-51.
Congratulations to those Bulldogs. Outstanding meet for Brad Brashear and Braden Jones and their head coach Tony Holler. Here we get a look at the Class A final standings. Just a 1-point margin of victory for Harrisburg over Burlington Central. You got to give credit to head coach Mike Schmidt and his staff there, an outstanding season. Also to Leo head coach Ed Adams as they finished third by just 4 points, and Herscher right in the mix as well. An outstanding meet on the Class A side.
No doubt about it. Herscher doing well, of course, led by Josh Wakey today.
So an excellent run for the Class A competitors here in Charleston at the IHSA Track and Field Spring Spectacular. You're tuned to the IHSA TV network. We'll be back after these local messages. There you see head coach Gary Hoppert and his Thornwood Thunderbirds hoisting the Class AA championship trophy, a trophy well-earned, an excellent performance today by their sprint team led by Ron Mitchell. An outstanding meet for the Thunderbirds from Thornwood High.
Got a great supporting cast, Casey, and congratulations to the Thunderbirds.
And as we take a look at the team standings, another close race there. The Class A standings decided by a point. The championship, 5-point margin of difference between Thornwood and York High School. So head coach Stan Riddell in his first season taking over for the legendary Joe Newton there at York. Came close, but they couldn't quite defend their state title from a year ago. Decatur MacArthur, congratulations there, head coach Bill Harbeck and their staff, an excellent performance as well. And Thornton coming in fourth with 32 points. But another terrific performance by the Class AA competitors and the Country Company's athlete of the meet. On the AA side, Ron Mitchell, 100, 200, and then anchored the 4x100 and 4x200 meter relay. Tremendous performance by him. And we will come back to wrap this up. You're tuned to the IHSA TV network. Welcome back to the IHSA Track Spring Spectacular as we put a wrap on the broadcast here from Charleston, Illinois, on the campus of Eastern Illinois O'Brien Stadium. There you get a look at some of the competitors in the field events. The long jump, Braden Jones with an outstanding day today.
You know, just a critical win as far as Harrisburg's team title efforts today. And of course, Tony Douglas, a finalist in 3 jumps. He had a great day, a great meet as well.
One of the busiest guys in the meet, Tony Douglas. There you get a look at the winners in pole vault. How about Josh Wakey?
Well, you know, he carried him today, obviously. Both Wakey and Zilch, defending champions, came back this year to defend their titles.
And Wakey won the 110-meter high hurdles as well for Herscher, as you get a look at the pole vault champions there in 2001. High jump, Casey Becker takes Class A. Chris Starren defends his title in Double A.
A repeat of last year. Again, had to battle a field of outstanding jumpers, including a young man from Lanphier and one from Springfield High, among others.
Shot put, a couple of excellent throws there from both Class A and Double A.
Their monster throws, just outstanding performances in the field events, the throws.
DiAugustino close to 60 feet on the day, and triple jump. Tillian Smith, another phenomenal performance from the kid from Decatur MacArthur.
One of those candidates for athlete of the meet. The 50-foot jump, second year in a row, defending champ, comes back, would win anybody's state championship this year. Just an outstanding performance. Helped him in 2 relays and, of course, towards that third-place finish.
And congratulations to Jeff Dancy from Sparta in the Class A triple jump. Discus, you can see the winners there. Michael Behrens from Manlius, Bureau Valley, and from Manuka, Scott Moss with an outstanding throw, 190 feet, 2 inches.
You know, tremendous. We get up here in the press box, people come into the stadium, and we sometimes forget what's going on outside, but that was just a tremendous throw for Scott Moss from Manuka.
Really was. Well, we want to thank all the great folks at the IHSA for their help in putting this telecast together, and to our friends here at Eastern Illinois University, terrific hosts once again for this IHSA Track Spring Spectacular for Lee Hall and Lee Hallberg. I'm Casey Kaler. This copyrighted broadcast is presented for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the express written consent of the Illinois High School Association is strictly prohibited.